Hey there, Kade here. It's Monday on the Beaverbunch. Covering for Jess, she's going to be taking over the Friday slot this week, so I thought that I would grace you with my beautiful face and say hello. So, hello. I hope that you're doing well and that your weekend was fabulous. This week, I chose a topic that we haven't necessarily talked about in a little while, and that I am really interested in learning more about and in hearing the opinions of the rest of my fellow Beeves as well as you guys. So I really would love to maybe start an open conversation, whether it's in the comments here below or on Facebook about, or even in video format, about what you think about the topic and how you relate. So the topic is open relationships. Yeah. So I really wanted to talk about this topic because I feel like they have a strong prevalence in the community and we don't necessarily talk about them. Most of the time we talk about problems in monogamous relationships and how to navigate those, and I think that open relationships are a lot more common than we probably mention, and there are a lot of different obstacles that come along with that. So I think it deserves at least 1 week of discussion, if not more. So what are open relationships? I mean, it sounds really vague. So I Googled it. It said the definition was an interpersonal relationship in which parties want to be together but agree to be in some form of a non-monogamous relationship. So that non-monogamy could be sexually, could be emotionally, it could be they are together but sleep with other people together. It could be they are together but they sleep with other people apart. They could date other people. They could have people that are around a while. They could just have one night stands. I mean, it's all about the relationship itself and the needs of the people that are involved. And I think that's what is so intriguing to me about open relationships, is that it really pushes the boundary of navigating the relationship space and really figuring out what the needs of each individual in the relationship is, and doing everything that you can to accommodate those. And I really like that idea. I feel like maybe people get comfortable too often, too quickly, and then needs don't get met, and then somehow you justify that you don't have those needs or that they're not as important as other ones. And I think that causes a lot of problems in relationships down the line. So, not that I'm saying open relationships are for everyone by any means. They seem incredibly difficult and require a lot of negotiating. So, but I do think they're worth discussing for sure. I think the two most important negotiations to have in an open relationship are about boundaries and about time. Boundaries specifically being like, well, what are the terms? What am I cool with? Like, what am I not cool with? Obviously, we're primary partners, but are you cool with me going on a date with someone? Are you cool with me texting them? Are you cool with me sleeping with them? Are you cool with me sleeping with them more than once? And just where on that spectrum of interaction you're both comfortable with setting your boundaries, and do the boundaries change? So boundaries are huge, and I'm a big believer in having them and in discussing them and in changing them if need be. So I think that is one of the most important parts about being in an open relationship. And then second is time. Usually when you're with someone in a monogamous relationship, you spend all of your time together if you're not with friends or at work or doing your own individual thing. And maybe in an open relationship it looks a little bit different. Maybe you spend one night a week apart, or maybe you just have an agreement about what time is allocated how. I think that the hardest, I haven't been in a lot of open relationships, but it seems like the hardest open relationship would be that which is caused by distance, because maybe you wouldn't necessarily be in an open relationship if the distance didn't exist. And so what do you do with that? And say it's that your girlfriend goes away to college. we get a lot of people that write in about that. And you're separated, and you love each other, and you want to stay together, but obviously we all know that long-distance monogamous relationships are hard to keep. So do you open your relationship up to make it stronger? And does that make sense? I always found that to be kind of contradictory when I was younger, because I had this notion that if something was important to you, you'd keep it as close to you as possible and do everything that you can not to let it go away. But I do, now that I'm older, think that sometimes letting things out a little bit and giving your relationships, whether they're romantic or otherwise, a little bit of space can sometimes actually strengthen them. So that's what I think about open relationships. It's a huge, huge topic. So I just wanted to throw it out there and see what you guys think. Have you ever been in an open relationship? Do you think that they're positive? Do you think that they're more trouble than they're worth? And if you were going to be in an open relationship, what kind of boundaries would you set? So I want to hear from you. Let me know. Other things happening in the community this week. There's apparently a transgender lingerie company called Chrysalis that is pretty up and coming, and I'm going to put the link to their video below, to their ad, because I think it's a really, really interesting discussion to be had that they're going to do fairly well, and that's a huge deal for trans women and for the accessibility of resources for gender norms. So that was really exciting. I read an article about that, and then I also saw the Ravens linebacker did an interview about gay marriage, in support of gay marriage, and he's like one of the only NFL players to come out and say, like, yeah, I believe in this and I will support it no matter what. I think families are worth it and they deserve to be equal, and that's a huge statement to say inside the NFL, especially with how not so friendly the 49ers are. So I'm not too upset that the Ravens won. Just saying. Those are my thoughts. That's what I'm thinking about this week. Have you seen something crazy, interesting? Did you catch a story that you think all of us should hear? You should share it. If not, then I guess we'll catch you next week. Enjoy the rest of the videos, guys. Have a great week. Peace.